game. And again, as you've seen Tech36 pretty much exclusively playing the Sombra, we know that there's going to be no Diva Matrix in the way there, and it's going to be up to Chubbs to stop it.
Open season for Huni. Hopefully he can abuse the same exploit that Slur's had, but just having that lax Anna time. The Pollitt grenade already landing on to Morningstars. Not too impactful though, just give some early ult charge over to Huni. So the rest of the team will force through that initial choke. Tech36 already on that flank, going up onto the high ground. Crandall's already found Kagasi. Okay, that puts everything on the back burner. As we already alluded to, Tech36, he knows where the food is at. He's going straight for the Diva with this one.
He is. He's like, oh, well, we lost fight. I need some charge. I need that juice.
Please, bro.
Almost just please.
Just a third of an ult, bro. I'm begging, please.
That's what's so annoying about Sombra, is even when you lose a fight, she's still getting value. But that was an interesting play there from Young and Beautiful. Not necessarily the best place to hold, but what it does is it kind of adds pressure to Morningstar. They weren't expecting it, so when it did come through, they weren't prepared to deal with it. So I like the changing of the pacing up from Young and Beautiful during this game so far. But already, Tech36, 51% at 3 minutes.
The EMP, often referred to as the one and done. Yikwit's being hacked up. Sleep Dart, that's disastrous for him, but he gets away. Translocator already set up. He's planning 2 steps ahead on this one.
Yeah, the flare was already out, so I don't necessarily think that was Yikid's fault. I don't think he could get further enough away from it. But the sleep was pretty damn good from Huni, let's be honest there.
And then they're going to have Morningstar just run into them at this point and force them further back into the hotel. Huni's got relative safety. The team was split in that transition to the point, but they're alive for now as Chubbs getting a lot of attention and Crown up. Already there, denies him, throws out the anti-name. No shield to block it out, no defense matrix to deny it. And now Crown up has to take a nap, as the rest of the Morningstars will retreat and come back with a couple of ultimates to play with.
Major thing here for me is the nano boost from Huni here, Tridd. That has to come through onto Krondop, and Young and Beautiful have to be ready to back this one up away from the EMP. If they can get themselves into the choke, it provides a pretty reliable retreat where there are no flanks that Miss Morningstars can take. But already, Morningstars, they're going to corner them, take away that choke from them.
Stun up, catch barrier, we'll keep him alive. Yona, about to get that grab, but there is the EMP shatter combination from Morningstars. They find 2 and charge it off and walk themselves onto the point and start getting that capture percentage. Young and Beautiful still have lots to play with, but they don't have the bodies. You can see, I believe Jonah trying to escape, but he'll be taken out as well, all but guaranteeing the point A capture.
A really good rotation from Morningstar. Seeing that Young and Beautiful take the high ground there to try and make it a little bit more difficult for Tech36 to get a good hack off. Morningstar's like, well, we're going to take away your only route of retreat. So Young and Beautiful, they know what to do. They hold on to all the ultimates apart from the nano boost that they tried to use to get Krandop alive.
Thankfully for Young and Beautiful, no one caught off by the split spawns. They will be a 6 to try and contest this choke. And they have, like we said before, they have ults to play with. If they can get a good coordinated fight off here, they can take control of the payload and really burn through this time bank.
There's the flick again, but they do get the hack onto Huni. That means no more anti-nade. Here comes the grab.
Nicely played. There's the sound barrier and the rally as well. Pinned up. Krandop has a shadow ready to drop. The anti-nade is huge. It's going to deny so much healing over the Morningstars, and the shadow comes down. Not funny anyone. The Graviton Surge pulls him up. Dreidro is taking him out to the side, but the shadow's big from Chubbs. Finds 3 members, follows it up with the fly strike, and he's denied any further aggression by the shield, by the big man himself. Yikwitz as the nano boost will now go in favor of Young and Beautiful, pushing forward, finding 2, and Morningstars will lose control of that payload.
Young and Beautiful are so insane at the restabilize game. You see Brusen just use the boosters fantastic to get everyone away, and then immediately afterwards, FD God boops them back as well. Huni's always ready there as well with the nade there to keep everyone alive, give them an extra healing, and then pump it into them afterwards. Morningstars are really having difficulty at closing out fights because Young and Beautiful, they keep them at a distance.
Tech36 being real sneaky breaky. Getting ready to drop that EMP. You can see the team spacing out a little bit more, trying to avoid it. Spotted out, but will get the hack onto 4 members. And Jonah, Krandop, already paying the price. Huni can't get any additional healing from the Bionic Grenade because he was hacked up as well. That's going to be a 1-team fight for Morningstar. And Asking's so close to that Graviton Surge. Value gain from the EMP.
Yeah, he really wants to get that online as fast as possible so they can take an early fight here versus Young and Beautiful, knowing that Jonah doesn't quite have his as of yet. Kagasi also has the rally, so they can force the advantage here. They can force a fight at the very end of point B, where it's so enclosed for Young and Beautiful. Let's see if Bruce can get off another big E.
Might be a bit too much of a tall order. He's going to boot Crandop into the back line. That's a bit of a mistake there as Crandop nano boosted, healed up. Huge anti-nade, asking Will fire in that Graviton Surge. They're trying to burn through them, but Brucein has to regroup with the rest of his team. Young and Beautiful already won out that team fight. And there's only support ultimates on the board for Morning Stars. Big bomb coming in for Young and Beautiful. Brucein looking for the stagger onto Asking. He's got the protected barrier, but he's in hot pursuit. He's surely going to get it. Nice melee kill to finish it off.
I think that the major thing to look out for there is that Jonah gets far more value than Asking does out of that Graviton. Because in that moment, not only does the Graviton keep Morning Stars at distance once again, but after Asking uses his, Young and Beautiful can just throw everything forward. Chubbs is no longer there. No big shield, no Matrix in the way to stop any of that spam, whereas, you know what? Crandop can just hold the shield up. Brucein can pop the Matrix up, and no damage is coming back their way.
60 seconds remaining. FD God about to get that sound barrier online. Ziggwood's getting the rally as well. Going for the hack instead. They're going to deny it. Translocator comes in. Asking's taking a nap. That could be detrimental. He can't protect himself from the self-destruct. He goes behind the payload. Won't find it out. Chubbs gets a nano boost. He walks forward into the team. But Yikwit has already found Kigasi. Chubbs will avenge his fallen comrade with the Fire Strike, and he has the Shadow to use. Sound barrier, may want to wait for that to expire. Tech V6 comes in with the EMP. FD God already feeling the hurt. This Crandop would now be hacked up after he escaped the initial burst. Slammed onto the ground. You still got multiple members of Young and Beautiful playing around his payload. Jonah has the ultimate to use, but he might want to conserve it. Brucein's on the high ground, trying to give more attention over to this team, but there's comes the grab. They're going to burst in, try and find Asking. He's going to be staying alive a little bit longer, and they will find the multiple members. 10 seconds remaining. Surely, Young and Beautiful are going to take control of the payload with 5 seconds remaining. They're looking for someone to come in with the stall. They're trying to find Tech V6. He's going to path himself down, trigger the overtime, but no one else is there for the follow-up. They're going to finish it just shy of point B.
It's just not enough. The coordination from Morningstar seems to be breaking down in these last moments of King's Row. Kigasi a little bit too far forward, just gets taken down really low HP, and it's a stray flail from Yikis that just takes him down in the end. I think so far what we're seeing is Asking maybe being a little bit too frivolous with those Graviton Surges, using them when a fight is quite clearly lost. And Young and Beautiful, once again, it's that thing where they are patient with their ult economy. They know how to use it. They know how to conserve it.
But now, they're going to be going on to the offense. It's Morning Stars who's going to have to play the big defense right now. Point B, I think it's a fairly common place for the payload to end, especially here in Europe. We see a lot of teams just around that particular final threshold where really the spawn distance is quite equal, and I think that's what poses a lot of difficulty in that particular location. Really does play into it. We're going to see Young and Beautiful going in on the offense. Let's have a look what they're going to roll out with. And Morning Stars swearing by this Sombra.
Yeah, they still are, but check out Young and Beautiful. They could be coming out of Sombra of their own. I'm not going to bank on it. They're attack. They can still.
They are in the spawn.
They can still change up right now.
You've been debated once this series. Don't let it be the second.
They're teasing at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fall for it.
Okay.
Morning Stars, on the other hand, they're holding here once again. Yep, they're swearing by the Sombra. They're swearing by this Ana. So far, they've had some decent success with it, but I think, again, it's that breaking downs of the communication between the team where they're just not able to make coherent decisions.
Look at the stare down that's going on right now. Hooney. But it's a little bit of cheating going on. Yes, Slur does have the protection of Brigitta's shield, just poking through there. So they're not going to find anyone. Hooney will, of course, change over to the Ana, to another sniper.
So we are seeing Brucing on something new. After all, David was not a liar. He tells the truth.
Going over to the Zarya, they still want that. Hooney's already been hacked up. That Jonah is going to be the one to roll out with the Sombra. So clearly, he has a more proficient play with this hero than Brucing can.
Yeah, it does play quite similarly to Tracer, where it's just a skirmisher in the backline, except it has that all-important hack online, and we know that Jonah can play the Tracer very well, so it makes sense that Sombra is in his hero pool too.
New hero in the wheelhouse, new combinations coming out from Young and Beautiful. They do have control of the high ground, which makes it easier for Brucing to play the Zarya. That is until Tridd pays some attention. Crown drop, yet again, going down early in these fights. A consistent pattern for Young and Beautiful that really does need to be addressed.
Does Brucing get out though? He's being provided
He's been hacked
a
up.
lot of support.
And denied healing as well. No, he's not getting out.
He is staying inside. But so far, Jonah does have more percentage on that EMP, and at the moment it's a little bit of that race to the EMP. There will be a nano online for Morningstars, so they will have something to prevent a lot of that damage coming through and keep their Reinhardt alive. That is only if Slur remains unhacked.
Tridd playing up in the rafters right now. Just up so high as he drops down onto the ground. Asking's been hacked up. He should be able to deal with that. He's behind the shield and safety of Chubbs, who drops the hammer. Someone who's not safe is Young and Beautiful.
Hey.
Just pounded in that corner. That's going to be an easy win for them. Burning it down to 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining for Young and Beautiful. But their ults are starting to come online.
Yeah, they wanted to go up the stairs, but it was Chubbs who laid them down, so sad for them. Young and Beautiful this time, they will have the EMP online. I think they want to take this fight quickly before Tech36 can use an EMP of his own to prevent all this aggression from coming through.
Jonah may be able to shut that down early. EMP used on cooldown. Misses out on the hack. Crandall drops the hammer. Chubb's going to be denied, but he's sitting on the nano boost. It's going to be hard to do it. Beautiful EMP. Response coming in from Tech36. The Graviton throw on top of that as well. But everyone's too busy dealing with big man Crandall in the front with that nano boost as he finds the second kill of the fight. And Yikwid will deal with Tech36. That's Young and Beautiful getting this payload in motion.
Grandov, big man on campus. He's here. He is ready. He is the one man only that takes down the rest of Morningstars there. And in that moment, Tech36 is forced to use the EMP. It was a decent attempt of getting back into that fight. However, they ignored Crandop in that situation and laid down a massive Earth Shatter during the fight. Really well played to Jonah to know that he has to take that fight quickly. And you know what, credit to Tech36 as well. Almost got his team back in favor.
Yet again, no split spawn, so we have this contest at the choke as a potential option for Morningstars. They need Chubbs to get that hammer online. Graviton Surge, the great of the team. Chubbs isn't fast enough to join them, and they just get burnt down by Bruson. He's playing so far forward. Like grabbing the back line, abusing the fact that there was no diva there to help them. It gives him the confidence to throw it in, knowing that Chubbs are going to be playing so far forward, he can't block out any damage.
This is last fight now, Tridd, absolutely. And there is Jonah here with the EMP. The spawns are so far away on point B for the defenders that, yeah, by the time this gets around the corner, one last fight will be here, and it's the EMP Shatter that will most likely finish out this game. He's been detected. Get away.
Run! Get away! You don't want to be caught in that one as he jumps around to the back line. He's going to go in there with the EMP. All of them down. Where's the Shatter coming in? Crandop doesn't want to drop it. He's confident to win the fight. He deletes them.
They just got in on it.
Forced back. Yab set that one up. Went for the execution, get themselves that third map win, or the win on map number 3 more accurately, puts them to a 2-1 scoreline with potentially one map remaining. Yab looking as clean as ever this season.
It looked like it took them a little while to warm up, but now they are in that phase. They are ready to just take down Morningstars. They have them between the finger and thumb at the moment. It felt like that towards the last 3 fights there on King's Row. They just had a great understanding. And you know what's even better? It's like that Bruson is able to flex over to the Zarya to allow Jonah onto that Sombra and flex his hero pool muscles a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's credit to Bruson to be able to do that. I do think it's bizarre that we need to have Jonah rather swapping off that Zarya, because I imagine Jonah is also better at Zarya and Sombra, but just because of the hero pools, it's just the way it works out. We're going to do a quick break. We're at series point. Come back to see potentially the conclusion as we move over to Dorado. Thanks for staying with us. Final map of the day. Question mark? I don't know. We might end up with map number 5.
Yep.
If it follows the pattern of the previous series, we could be going ahead over to Busan to send it all off. But Dorado is next on our destination, and it's looking pretty dominant right now from Young and Beautiful. And really, they are taking control of this game.
Yeah, and that's where Young and Beautiful kind of fell down, was on control, but that seems to what they've regained here towards the end of the series. Now we go to Dorado, though. I have a few questions about this map because I feel like Asking has probably been one of the best mechanical players on this team. His ult economy been maybe a little bit out of whack sometimes. The Graviton's coming in towards the end of fights and maybe too early as well, but Dorado, forever being this a Widow map, and we all know what Asking does best, and it is Widow.
They could opt in and utilize certainly one of the strongest assets on their team, which would be this Widowmaker for Asking. Potentially, they may stick with what they're doing so far, move over, keep him on this Zarya and play more tank-heavy compositions. Don't know what they're going to opt into. Young and Beautiful, still, you've already seen the nice flex on there. David, was it? Or Daniel? I've already forgotten the coach's name, unfortunately.
David.
I got it right the first time. Fantastic.
You did, yeah. Don't second guess you, man. You got it.
He already came in and he said, we're going to see Brucen since you go over to a flex here. We didn't expect it to be the Zarya to facilitate the Jonah Sombra. We know that's an option for them, and they may look to play it again.
It's like magic that you predicted that there. Yeah.
I don't think it took a lot of brain cells to go ahead and predict that they might play Sombra on Dorado.
I'm going to give you it anyway.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. And I think this is interesting, though, because now we again get to see Brucen on the Zarya and Jonah on the Sombra. And I think what that means a lot to me is there's still this ult economy, that even when they are flexing off onto different heroes, we are still seeing that same conservativeness that we saw throughout the entirety of the series, where they are not so reluctant to use ultimates, but they use them in a very clever manner. And you were talking about before that after the EMP came out at the end of King's Row, they were like, what comes next? And Crandop's, well, it's not a shatter, but it's actually just the end of the game.
He's there with the hammer above his head going, just faking him out constantly. Jonah's on that high ground already with the Sombra playing behind Morningstars. Going to try to translocate the safety. Goes for a hack onto Dredro. Trying to go for a spray down as well. Hootie with the reinforcements will help him get the kill. And it kills any momentum. Morningstars were hoping to carry into this first engagement. And look how aggressive Young and Beautiful play. The second they know they have the Lucio. I have no idea, but Kagasi's on life support right now. Huge Anthony comes in. Another hack from Jonah. Finds Tech 3-6 on the back line. Won't get the kill. Moving around. He's got 40 HP. He doesn't want to take that engagement anymore. He's going for the health pack.
Oh, I think the Tech Fed is actually expecting to go to the high ground. Asking does find that Crandop now, so they can just push in towards them. Really, at the moment, it's just Young and Beautiful wanting to keep as many members alive for that second retake here on Point A, because we all know in ranked how quickly Point A on Dorado can just flash before your eyes.
Melts away. Nothing you can do about it, really. Your Slur going to have that nano boost. Ready to go, and Chubbs is playing right at the entry point. They want to gift it over nice and early. He's already got him on so low HP. He's hacked up, but it doesn't matter. He can just swing the hammer away with that added bonus, the added healing coming in. It's easy as he does it. Chubbs coming in with the big boy kill feed domination, and he has himself a shatter for his troubles.
Oh, where are they going, though? That's the real question. And here on Dorado, this first corner is very important to the attacking team, because if you can get around it quickly, it basically affords you point B very easily. This corner is really easy to play for defenders because it provides you good high ground. That's just why Morningstar is trying to take it away so early. But Jonah, he has the EMP. He can restabilize his team here.
Chubbs so close to getting himself charged off there. Jonah's going to use that EMP straight away. Graviton Surge coming out from Asking. He was out of the range and he turned it around. Doesn't matter, you could have hit the EMP. Doesn't matter, you got the hack off. Chubbs and the rest of the Morningstars not to be set back on this one. They're going to come back from a fight in theory they should have lost just because of the EMP.
Yeah, this did not go well for Young and Beautiful whatsoever. Morningstar seem to be a little bit more calm and collected now. They know what they want to do with Dorado. I really like that time where they basically forced the hand of Young and Beautiful by quickly taking the high ground, and they're going to do it again here. Cut off the spawns of Young and Beautiful. Morningstars, they have that EMP in pocket. It's been successful for both teams. Can it be again?
Chubbs playing Gatekeeper. In the nano boost on top of that Graviton Surge. Shatters down the stairs as Hooney will be obliterated, and Crandop not there to block it out. Dredro providing the assist to get him down onto the low ground. They're going to walk this one in. What resistance can Young and Beautiful put up without the reinforcements of their main healer in the form of Hooney? They're going to hack him up, deny everything there. Jonah immediately deleted, and he had no chance of escaping. Crandop gifts himself over to Morningstars just to get the kill as FD God has to jump away. Point B being captured up by Morningstars.
I think Sombra works really well on King's Row because there are so many just narrow streets where you can pretty much guarantee get like a 6 or a 5-man EMP off, and it doesn't matter so much that you need to have a great Zarya on board. It seems that Brusen is definitely not as good of a Zarya as Jonah is, but here on Dorado, where there's so many flanks where Asking can play from, I think it's super important right now for Young and Beautiful to have that great Zarya in Jonah instead of the Sombra here.
Tech 36 and Tridd going for the tag team onto FD God, but back up in the main bit of the fight. Young and Beautiful have no defense for that. And Crandock will charge through, easily done. When are the brakes going to be put on Morningstars?
I don't know. It feels like they've just removed the brakes entirely. There's no oil in the system. They are just accelerating and continuing to do so until they crash with the end of point C. Young and Beautiful, they have the EMP, Asking waiting with this Graviton to counter.
Interesting choice on the Shadow there, won't find anyone. As Asking's getting ready, like we say, to launch that Graviton Surge in. Gonna fire it in. Brusen's already found one. This is the return of Young and Beautiful. They've already found two. The Graviton Surge coming in just a fraction too late for Morningstars to get value out of it. Brusen will take a nap. He's surrounded by his team. This is surely going to be Chubbs going down. Going for the charge. Won't find anything more, but that's finally like the first dominant team fight win we've seen for Young and Beautiful on Dorado.
Yeah, and the best thing about that is that because Brusen was able to get such an early pick, it means that Jonas are actually able to hold on to this EMP here. Crandock going to be taken down so early, and Morningstars, they're already regrouping. This could be last fight. 5v6 here, Tridd.
Crandock's so isolated then. The rest of the team was rolling it back, but he's still quite far forward. Slur has the nano boost to pump into one of his teammates. Going to give that over immediately to Chubbs, who's frontlining it. Slur gets the kill onto Jonah. Denying him everything with the EMP. Shadow's being traded back. Crandock gets the advantage. As he presses into it, but Asking's found the second kill of the fight already. Jonah coming back into the field. He has the EMP. Brusen's got himself a Graviton Surge. There are tools in the arsenal for Young and Beautiful to stay in this one. They're going to commit the sound barrier nice and early. They've lost another one. Grab gets thrown out. Asking going to get it on the floor, and they're going to clear everyone out. The EMP didn't even matter. They'd already done enough to win the team fight. That's going to be Morningstars walking it in with a sizable time back to play with on the next attempt.
It was this time that Tech 36 was able to debate FD God. You saw him in the wings there.
Yeah.
He let Crandock die. He let Brusen die. And that's all because he was desperately waiting for the EMP to come out before he unleashed the sound barrier in that situation. So just a game of chicken that he was playing with Tech 36. Sadly, now Young and Beautiful, they have to make an offense here, and it has to be an insane offense to even be up there with the likes of 2-minute 47 with Morningstars.
Needs to be sublime from Young and Beautiful. I mean, it's going to be tough. Maybe they can get the completion in there, but even still, even if you do it in overtime, that's 3 minutes 47 for Morningstars to play with. You want to be getting something in the bank for the next offensive, and it all depends on whether you can go ahead and win out Dorado, or at least complete it, because if this goes to map number 5, we already saw what Morningstars did on a control map. You'd expect the same. Like we said, there are a lot of similarities in terms of the May being an option, and Tech 36's walls were so pivotal on that first map. You throw it into a map like Mecha Base, where you're playing around chokes all the time, could open it up for Young and Beautiful for just have disaster.
Yeah, but one thing that Brusen does well on Mecha Base is he plays the Ashe instead, and they just use that outranging composition to stay away from Morningstars. It doesn't work so well on Village, where the point itself is very enclosed, and you have to contest that point because it has an overhead roof and lots of walls around it. Whereas on Mecha Base, you can play at much more distance.
Getting ahead of ourselves, though, Blank.
We are, indeed. I love theory crafting. I'm sorry, guys.
So do I. Don't worry about it. We'll jump onto Dorado, the rest of this one. Still seeing similar compositions. Hang on a minute. Young and Beautiful walking out with a quadruple DPS comp. They're just going to take it straight to Morningstars and just spam them out, hopefully.
Yeah, and here, really, there's no matrix in the way. So all the spam is going through without being inhibited by that matrix. So Yickers is going to get a quick barrage. Brusen might even get a quick Dragon Strike, which will displace Morningstars. Really, they want a very quick cap here, and it shows.
Pushing forward. It's going to be Crandock going into the back line. Brusen has to evade. So low. Damage was there. It's able to take him out. Asking with the right click seals the deal. FD God brings him back into the fight. That Mercy one of the biggest assets you can pull out from this one is that resurrection. Tech36 now going over to that D.Va. They've identified they need that Matrix to try and deny some of this damage coming in.
But already, the barrage is here. Out comes the Nano Boost. Who did it go on to?
It went onto Chubbs and he immediately died.
I think he got antied, so the healing from the Nano Boost didn't come through, even though he was basically next to death. Asking though, popping off, here comes the barrage.
Straight at point blank range, doesn't find anyone.
There's the
Kagasi,
Matrix.
even with the flail. Tech36 coming in with the Matrix, the pick already providing value. As Huni will be denied as well. So Young and Beautiful, they do have the closest spawn room. They can make changes here, knowing that Tech is running out with the D.Va. But for now, they're staying strong with this composition. They want to go in with the damage.
It's a really quick switch from Morningstars to get Tech36 back on that D.Va. And what's so insane is Tech36 showed himself to be an insane Sombra, but we also know he's an incredible D.Va as well. It's like, what do you force him onto here? Because nothing seems to have disadvantages here with Tech36 and his hero pool.
You force him onto Torbjorn, that's what you do. Chubbs already being hacked up. Primal Rage comes out from Crown Dog. It's FD God with the Valkyrie as well, so they're committing a lot to this fight. Even the Dragon Strike coming in, finding no one as the grab will now be committed. So think about that, Blank. 3 ults being committed, and no one being found. It just took the Graviton Surge and a rally from Kagasi to get the even greater effects out of it.
I think Young and Beautiful need to do something similar here to what Tech36 just did and make some quick switches. Crandup already on the Reinhardt. You know the rest of the switches are coming through. They're going to keep Jonah on this Sombra, and now they're the ones countering Morningstars. Tech36, obviously, he can't go back to spawn and switch, but he does have that bomb. He can use that mid-EMP to provide space for his team to retreat.
Already getting an eye boost in. Slam finding no one. Apart from Brucein, jumping on his back. There's that hack coming in. Jonah shutting down 5 members of Morningstars, but he didn't get Tridd, who brings the sound barrier to the party. And that means Chubbs is just free to be able to slam through FD God. Young and Beautiful, we're putting so much stock into Jonah's ultimate. He nailed it. There's nothing more he could have done. They still survive and they keep the fight going.
This looks a completely different Morningstars to what we saw just there on King's Row. They seem calm and collected. There must have been one hell of a pep talk during those break between map 3 and map 4.
Pipu with the Peppo talk.
The Peppo talk.
Coming in to keep him up. It's Tech36. Is that self-destruct ready to go? Slur's been hacked out, so he will just have to rely on the healing from his rifle. Garci about to get that rally back online. Shatter finds its mark onto one. As Chubbs will recover from it. He's ready to drop one of his own though. They're going to fire out to the ground, and it's big. It finds 4 members. He cuts through them like a hot knife through butter. And that's Morningstars forcing out to the final 20 seconds. One more attempt. They may have the EMP, but they're certainly going to have the Nano and the rally.
There's only 2 points of ingress here on Torrado, which means that asking, he can probably cut off one, which means Young and Beautiful, they have to split the team up here. Jonah could get to the payload or FD God, but they're going to lose a crucial component, whatever they do here. They have a lot of ultimates. They have to make them count.
The play around the choke. There's the Nano boost into Chubbs. He presses forward. Asking, drops that Graviton Surge. EMP comes out as expected. It's a 6-man onto Morningstars, but they don't care. They clap back with 4 kills.
FD God.
FD God goes for the double, but it's not enough. There's the self-destruct over the top. It takes out Huni. There's only one sneaky little Lucio. He's not in touching range. Morningstars force out our second map 5 of the night.
2-2. This match could not get any more exciting right now. Young and Beautiful on the brink of defeat. The first undefeated team to probably suffer a loss here could be Young and Beautiful. Morningstars, they've completely flipped the script right now.
They keep doing it. We didn't expect it to go to map number 5. They look rattled after King's Row, and they just come back straight away. On Dorado, dominant offensive, absolutely sublime defense, and we're going to move on to map number 5. And I don't know what's going on necessarily with Morningstars, but they just absolutely did not seem to care about the EMPs. 4-mans, 6-mans, they still clap back. We're going to a break. Can they seal the deal? We'll find out shortly. Welcome back to what is conclusively the final map of the night, our second Game 5 as well, and I don't know how many it's been this season.
Man, it's 5 now.
Certainly more than the previous seasons right now, and we're jumping onto Busan. That is our tiebreaker map, and we already kind of teased it a little bit in Dorado that we think that one team may have an advantage, and especially something that they're going to have in their pocket is momentum. That was an incredibly dominant performance by Morningstars on Dorado, and they can just ride that wave into Busan and potentially take away the series.
And similarly, the tsunami that Morningstars just created, hopefully Young and Beautiful can ride that wave back into this one, because that's exactly what seems to be happening during this entire map. It's just back and forth.
It's what happened during Volskaya as well.
Yeah.
Quite dominant coming in. They were able to then come ahead and bring it back. Not Volskaya, sorry, King's Road. That was the one that was really dominant in one flavor. They just keep swinging like a metronome. In theory, it should be Yab who comes back with the victory, but I don't know. Like, how do you come back from getting 4-man, 5-man, 6-man EMPs and still losing team fights?
I think really at this point, Yab need to make quicker switches because they're continuing to try and play this composition of Brusen on Zarya and Jonah on Sombra. And I think that, yeah, sure, if that is a set composition that you've had in mind for a little while now, it's okay to continue running that. But at some point, you have to make the decision, well, this isn't working here. I know it's what we wanted to come into and play, but now it's time to switch off and go over to something that better works against this team.
Well, we're going on to that final map of Busan. Let's talk about the rotation. Mecha base, we expect a lot of Mei coming in.
Yep.
Already talked up the strong game that Morningstars can bring with that one. Tech 36 may be the better Mei out of the two when we compare them directly, but
we might see the Ash from Brusen as well.
That's true. We alluded to that. It's something that he relied on with that range, particularly on Mecha base. When it comes to maps like downtown, and not down. Yeah, it's downtown.
Downtown, yeah.
I keep getting this. It's like a city center, downtown. It's like all these metropolitan areas start to blend into one at some point. And then, of course, we also have Sanctuary as well. Sanctuary may be a good opportunity for them to take the Goats fight, which I think, if we just see straight up Goats, I think Young and Beautiful does have the edge there. I think
a little bit.
But when you start throwing in the wacky combinations, that's when Tech starts to shine.
Yeah, Tech 36 really seems to be the hero of Morning Stars at the moment. Asking is providing a massive amount of damage. I think that he still has a few areas to work on when it comes to like the macro skill. But to be honest with you, he is providing that damage, and that's what's really important.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to bring in the map like we thought we were going to. Just one of those things, right? We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you that final map. We're just teasing you just a little bit longer. All further delays have been cancelled. We're hopefully going to be jumping straight into that final map. Busan coming on your screens real shortly. Oh, real shortly? That's a new phrase.
Real shortly.
Yeah, doesn't make much sense. Busan's going to be our next destination. We forced out the map number 5. Dorado winning the first and fourth map. And the filling in the middle of this sandwich. Young and Beautiful coming out with the Volsky and Kings Row map wins. And especially in those last 2 maps, dominant for Young and Beautiful. And then it comes in and it's like, hang on a minute, we're going to have a dominant Dorado performance as well. Does beg the question and does confuse me a little bit about which way this will go.
It really does. At this point, I think it's very hard to tell because we have seen so much variation in the level of play we've seen from both these teams. It's difficult to call whether either of these teams is going to win here. We do start on Mecha Base. Obviously, this is the one we've talked the most about. Tech 36 can bring out the May, but if they've been watching any Young and Beautiful games, they will know that Brucen's more than likely to come out with this Ashe. We are going to get a quick pause here whilst Young and Beautiful and Morning Stars, they set up their compositions.
Okay, sorry, I lied about the delays. They weren't cancelled.
All delays are now back on.
Back on the menu. But yeah, we spoke about Mecha Base as being like the most talked about map, and that's mainly we're talking about here that what Tech 36 has enabled, and we have the conversation about Brucen as well coming in here on the Ashe as a potential option. And I'm really glad that it is the first map in the rotation, because as soon as it moves on to Downtown or Sanctuary, that's when I think we're going to see more traditional compositions coming in for both these teams. And we've already kind of alluded to, I think if we have the straight up Goats v Goats matchup, we think Yab comes out on top of that one. But then when we start to get a little bit tricky, maybe with the DPS compositions as well, we could find that Morning Stars takes it away, but are they going to have the capacity to force them out of the comfort of 3-3?
There is a lot of interesting things that can happen here. Either we do see Yab win on Mecha Base, and then they get the next one, or we see Morning Stars win on Mecha Base, and then Yab take 2 just because they're better on the Goats teams. There's all sorts of tomfoolery that could happen here on Busan. However,
tomfoolery is aplenty, because guess what? You're bamboozled again. We're going to another break. As you can see on your screen, without seeing us this time, because you've seen enough of us in this final map, we're jumping onto Mecha Base, and hey, guess what? We're pretty good at calling what Brucen's going to do. He's now on the Ashe, ready to go. Hopefully he stays on it coming out the spawn room.
We've got our brains on Wright today. You know, I screwed in and I was like, let's go. I know exactly what's going on. To be honest with you, I really don't, because Tridd goes on Symmetra.
Well, I don't think he's going to stay on the Symmetra necessarily. Brucen probably going to be playing at distance, keeping Morning Stars at arm's length and really getting maximum value out of the additional range he provides. Tech 36 doesn't have damage drop-off, and he will be able to cut off some of these sight lines.
Yeah, and Brucen with the Dynamite can do a maximum of 75 with the explosion, then there's 100 damage for the ticks, which can prove really lethal for the backline members. Also, the Dynamite cuts off Huni's self-regeneration.
This is what I love. Like, most teams will go and contest the territory that Morning Stars has occupied.
No, we don't want it.
Not Young and Beautiful. Take it. garbage. We don't want it.
Trash.
We want it. That's real estate you can build on, but you're not going to be able to sell it for a profit. As Brucean stays up on his high ground, and now they have to try and come at them. But guess what? They run straight into the boot of Dredro. He keeps them at that arm's length, plants his palm on their forehead. They can swing all they want.
The flank.
But they're not going to find it. And now Brucean rotates around.
Brucean, dude.
What are you doing, man? And now you've got the lone Zenyatta. He coach guns away, but he doesn't want to opt into the duel. Morningstars get 10% and nothing more.
An incredible flank there, but I've got to commend the rest of the players on Young and Beautiful who made that debate work. They're like, oh, we're dropping down here. Bruce's with us still, I promise, but he's really not. He's gone all the way around. Great use of that coach gun. He's been doing a lot of the workshop parkour.
Now they've got the right thing to do. Look at it. They're going in on that high ground. Amazing. FD God coming in, doing the work, keeps them away. But now Brucean finally being paid the attention he deserves. Tech 3-6. Blindsiding him with the micro missiles, gets the kill, and now he's looking to deal damage to Crandall. Conceding the point, 21% is going to be matching what Young and Beautiful have. The fight's still going back and forth, especially with the Transcendence being committed already. Crandall about to go ahead and get himself that Earth Shatter, fires it down, but they're hiding behind these panels. They still have more ults to commit, and Jonah's going to throw the grab right into the fight. Shatter from the side on the flank, but Tech 3-6 finds Crandall. They're firing Bob onto the point. That 7th man is not enough to stop the bleeding. Morningstars maintain control of the point.
Now they lost a lot of ultimates there. A really good shatter coming through from Chubbs. Because Crandall, he was ready and waiting for that bubble to come from Jonah in that situation and enable him to get that charge off. It just wasn't there because Jonah was laid on his back and soon to be 6 feet under. Brucean now knows he has to make that switch over the D.Va. Now we have traditional 3-3. We assume Yab is going to come out on top here.
Crandall walks forward. Oh, that shield with the Graviton Surge already being able to...
Another Transcendence?
Fantastic by Hooney. Comes into the fight. Now Tech 3-6 has been demeched. Has to use the self-destruct to get it back fast. FD God going to be moving with the rest of his team. This Yiquit's without the shield right now. They will have the sound barrier to commit to this next fight, and that's more than Morningstars can put into this one if they want to commit. Crandall looking for it from the side.
Nice.
Catches off multiple members. Charles wasn't playing far enough forward. Nearly gets the fire strike onto Aski, who will be healed up by the armor pack of Kagasi, then pops the rally. It's too late to save Chubbs, missing out on that main time, but they have forced out the final fight territory, even if Young and Beautiful can manage to get the flip here.
Yeah, even if Young and Beautiful get the flip here, like you say, they will be contesting with what will be a single fight territory for Morningstars. They just need to build the ultimates. They already have 2 large ones on the board in the sense of the sound barrier and the Transcendence. An Earth Shatter again. Chubb so far has been excellent in finding these angles on Young and Beautiful, set up by Dredro. He's booping Crandall out of the way consistently. And FD God, he's checking which way people are going, as you can hear if they're going underneath or off to the right.
He feeds that information. The team's in position as you'd expect. Chubbs already going down low. They push into them. There's the shatter. Finds multiple members. FD God off the ground high enough to then come in with the sound barrier and stem that bleeding. Crandall's time. He's got the hammer. Presses forward. Nearly taking out Chubbs. He's behind the main shield of that tank. As he presses forward, they've already got 2 kills. They can sit on the ultimate. They even go for the booster kill on Brucean. Young Beautiful will come back into this one. This next defense with ults, they can force out to similar territory to that of Morningstars.
And they already have 4 ults online. Really good job from Young and Beautiful. An amazing first pick onto Slur, which not only cuts away the Transcendence from your team, which is great at restabilizing, but also that Discord orb. They absolutely need to finish off fights. Morningstars, they're pressing the advantage again.
Crandall staying alive, not for long. Transcendence comes in too late from Hooney. They haven't just wasted one ultimate, they've effectively wasted 2. They fire in the Graviton Surge. They're sitting on a self-destruct for Tech to find 2. Morningstars have the edge. There's nothing Young and Beautiful can do about it. Overtime will tick down. They are the ones in control. Yiquit will try and buy some more time for his team, hide behind that shield. But the team, Young and Beautiful, coming in on the highly mobile champs to try and contest. Typically not associated with a high success of retake. This is going to be Morningstars taking Mecha Base.
1 round away from Young and Beautiful's first loss this season, Tridd. Brucean falling down. This will be the conclusion of Mecha Base. Young and Beautiful now have to win 2 rounds in a row. It's a tall task. But if Young and Beautiful want to stay undefeated, that's what they have to do.
What's next in the rotation? Spinning the wheel right now. Going over to downtown. Now, potentially, we can see more DPS picks coming out. Tech 3-6. Flexing over to the Sombra. This is where Morningstars have found great success. It's that higher success rate with the non-traditional GOATS compositions that are really paying them dividends. And now when we move on to downtown, that's when they can really excel here. Because Young and Beautiful, they want to force the traditional fight, which they think they can win.
This also puts your psychic, your basically your mental, not your psychic, your mental in a really bad place.
I mean, I wish I had psychic.
Yeah, so do I. I imagine most Reinhardts wish they were psychic as well. But puts your mental in a bad place because you are 1 round away from losing a 2-2 series. This is really tough for both teams.
Crandop's very far forward by himself, but Morningstars are giving him that territory right now. They are playing very defensively, moving away. Jonah taking a nap already as Tech36 wants to build up towards that EMP. Crandop found one, Rooney finds the second. That's the one fight for Young and Beautiful, because Crandop, he may be hacked up, he may be bionaded, but they've already won the fight. Bruceson finds 2 on the back end of that one as well. First point cap going over the Yab.
And this is where we start to see this 3-3 composition with Hooney on the Zenyatta pay dividends over the Anna here. Because Bruceson can matrix pretty much everything Slur can do, Hooney can just pump in volley after volley of orbs, which are going to just destroy Chubbs' shield so quickly. As you can see, Chubbs is only on 38%. It's because he was under so much pressure from the spam coming out from Young and Beautiful. Crandop's already got a shatter.
He's just trying to walk behind the shield, and he's stunned up as he tries to move forward aggressively. And he's hacked as well. No shield to hide behind. They've got nothing to do with this one, but a Bionade will land. Big utilization of that lack of shielding from Young and Beautiful. They are put on the back foot. Tech36 has the EMP. They may be able to win it without sleep, into hack, into charge. There's nothing Jonah can do about it. That's just bullying at that point. FD God will come in, try and stall out as long as he can and squeeze the last bit of charge out of this one. The flip will come in around about 50%.
So many times Slur's been able to weave through these Bionades onto Young and Beautiful, and in that moment, if Crandop had stayed alive and they'd been able to keep him up and he'd able to hold his shield, potentially restabilize with an Earth Shatter. Now Morningstar sitting with 6 ultimates. This next fight, it's going to be messy, Tridd.
Tech36 may just have to use the one though. He's got the EMP in his pocket, jumps in the middle, finds 4, who he's already got himself. That Transcendence, but the Bionade on Crandop was huge! That Transcendence means nothing to a Reinhardt who's just been suffering the purple. They move back even further. They only use that 1, no, make that 2, 3 ultimates on the board. Actually 2, Tridd is about to get his online. Morningstar still have plenty to play with here. Young and Beautiful still need to get some form of economy because Morningstars are about to match them on their map percentage.
So 2 for 1 there, but I still think the Young and Beautiful are in a tough situation. They will have 5 ultimates coming online, but they absolutely need to flip here.
Gonna shadow it down. Who's he hitting? No one apparently, as they all sit themselves down on the Graviton Surge. Chubb turns it back around, only finding Bruceson, but he will get back in the fight. Anti-nade, finding Jonah and FD God. The sound barrier came out. Here's the self-destruct, as well as the Graviton Surge from Yab as they desperately try to get control of this point. Crandop will get a charge on the Chubbs, which seals the deal for them. Tridd will burn out more this time, but a flip definitely coming in for Yab.
They know they have to get the flip now because what happened last time is that they were 1 fight away and all it took was just the EMP. It's great that they're able to flip here at 72% because it almost allows them for 2 more fights. The last one will be desperate, but it will be one last fight indeed, rather than the Sombra EMP coming through and then losing the round. They were desperate to keep themselves in this one, yet they still have a Transcendence and a Shatter online, and it's going to have to be one hell of a Shatter if they want to propel themselves to win this round.
He needs to watch out for the hack and the attention he's being paid.
There
Shatter on the back line, finds 3. The fight's already won for Young and Beautiful. They've guaranteed themselves final fight territory. Morningstars will have the EMP in their pocket. Like you say, Blank, Crandop picking up the 3K at the end of the fight. 1 more they have to win. They've got a Transcendence and a rally to do it. They've got a nano boosted EMP coming in for Morningstars. The longer the fight goes on, I have a feeling Morningstars will start to take the edge just because of where their economy's at.
EMP into Bionade will completely cut through Hooney's Transcendence, even if he gets it off. Tech36 is looking for it.
He only finds 2. Crandop receives the Bionade straight away. They haven't got the kill.
He
lives through the Transcendence. That was the play for Morningstars. Now they're relying on the nano boost, but they're able to get the flip in. Chubbs gets the shatter as well. Young and Beautiful have lost control of the payload. There's the grab coming in as well. They're going to pull it in. Who else is going to be found out by that? Not many else. They're trying to move into the CC, but they won't find him. Chubbs in the corner. Shatter comes down, drops down. Only 2 members. Tridd will die before he gets the sound barrier online, and Morningstars have collapsed Young and Beautiful will get the flip. No one can change that fact. Overtime will tick down, and Yab will force us to round number 3 at Busan.
This series is such a nail-biter. We are tied up right now. A 2-2, 1-1 on control. Young and Beautiful did exactly what they needed to get back into this one. Everything that they needed, the big shatter, the massive transcendence, keeping Crandop alive despite him being on a sliver of HP, just one Lucio ball away from death.
The big shatter.
Big shatter, dude.
Able to keep them in the game, forcing out Sanctuary. Morningstar's still swearing by the Sombra. Tech 3-6 coming out on this one. Young and Beautiful, they were happy to force the straight-up goats. They're going to keep doing it as well. They were able to win downtown because of it. They're looking to close out this series on Sanctuary by doing exactly the same.
It is the Diva versus the Sombra. Which one comes out on top here? We will find out very shortly. Already, Young and Beautiful, they place themselves on the point.
The Hack trying to come in onto FD God. Will get them to change their direction. FD God has their anti-nade, but it's Chubbs who already goes down. Young and Beautiful going to be winning out that first fight, and you can see Morningstar's head for the hills. They're trying to get out of dodge. The Tech 3-6, he has no translocator to jump to, and he will be caught out at the end. First point captured, going over the Yab.
Young and Beautiful last time, they were playing on the disadvantage when they lost that first neutral. This time they win it. They put themselves in good stead when it comes to ultimate charge. Now, we've seen throughout the rest of the series, their ult economy is great. As long as they can hold on to these ultimates, cycle them properly versus this EMP, they might be able to just win it out here on Sanctuary. But Morningstars, they still have something to say about it.
Tech can't get a hack off right now. Everyone's looking in every angle. He can't find a way in. He has to back out again. Jonah's just chasing after him. He's in hot pursuit, and he may find him off onto the side. Jonah committed to it.
He's sick of it.
And he's just tired of Tech 3-6. He will deal with him. Crandop going for the charge, wants to get in position, doesn't quite snag the side of Kagasi, but does play further up. Nanoboost actually being committed, but it exposes the backline to a shatter from Crandop as he'll knock him down and cut it all out. Young and Beautiful, they're able to deal with this one, and Morningstar's looking a little bit rattled.
It seems that Young and Beautiful have figured out a great strategy at dealing with Sombra. Just pay her all the attention that she wants.
It's called hunting within an inch of his life.
Hunting within the inch of his life. Now, Tech 36, all around the map. Don't be suspicious. Just don't be suspicious. EMP coming online now. 5 ultimates for Morningstars, but Young and Beautiful, they're looking at something similar. FD God, he has to get this soundbar online quickly.
Tech 3-6 whistling nonchalantly as he jumps into the middle of the fight with the EMP. And there comes the Bionade. This time Crandop goes down. Jonah stays alive. He needs some healing, man. Find him some juice to stay in the fight. Young and Beautiful didn't bleed casualties, but they bled territory. And Morningstars will take control of the point because of it.
But Jonah, he retains a massive amount of charge here on the Zarya because he didn't die. Which means that when they come into the next fight, they will be able to unleash the Graviton Surge. There is no Matrix in the way.
They're going to go for a running start on this one. And they want to move forward. Asking with that Graviton Surge. Ready to go. There's that grab coming out from Jonah. It will just find Chubbs. Tries to go for the pin, but the sound barrier is there to keep him up. Now we're looking for the return from Asking. Forces them together. There's the sound barrier as expected as well. So they trade ults for ults. Chubbs' shatter will be denied by the shield. Won't find it. And now Hooney's going to return that kill. Still sitting on the Transcendence if it all goes wrong. They're at 81% blank. They're going to hack up Bruce. And
they used the EMP.
Why are they going to do that to try and keep it? The fight was already lost. They may have had an opportunity to come in on the final retake, but now they're chasing them out of the spawn. They're going to get a stagger potentially here as Crandop will be hacked up and bionaded again. You've got 10% remaining, and you're not going to be able to have a consistent 6-man fight. Young and Beautiful, they may have just done enough to lose that out as they're going to have Morningstars commit back to this one. Jonah going for the reset. 45%. They will take control, but Crandop and Bruce coming back in with ultimates.
They got far too aggressive in that moment. They thought it was all one out. But Young and Beautiful, they made a critical error there. Asking now has the Graviton. Sure, Morningstars are low on ultimates, but it's still possible for them. Young and Beautiful, This shatter has to be massive once again. Brusen has the Diva Bomb to create a lot of space with it. Out it comes.
Onto the back line. Will find Slur. Not going to have that main healing. Shatter comes down as well. Asking returns it back onto Jonah, who will be missing from this final fight as Crandall gets the charge onto Chubbs. And he's going to die. He should pay his life for it, but he's getting the healing he needs. Huni going to keep him alive, who will have the Transcendence online if he just stays alive and keeps the healing going. Kagasi shield bashes to get away out of the damage range and the threat range of Krandov, who's now standing on the point, looking for the retake. Fire Strike. It's just missing out on Kagasi. It doesn't hit the main body. And now we're looking for him to come back into this one. Drop it down onto Young and Beautiful. Maintain control of the point. It's a 4-man, but they got the Transcendence online, and there's no Bionade. Slow will come back in with the Nano Boost.
FD God has the soundbite. We'll have to use it now to keep him alive with inside this grab. Chubb has got Krandov out the way.
And the Bionade comes in, and they're going to drop the Shatter. It finds so many members of Young and Beautiful as Morning Stars retain control of the point for now, but it's not decisive enough. There are members coming in. Bionade onto FD God and onto Yikwitz, who's now been hacked up. Brusen gets teammates as well. Young and Beautiful are in panic mode. They're coming in with Krandov on that Wrecking Ball.
This might not be enough right now. Krandov's back in, sure, but they don't have a shield in the way. Chubbs very low on charge, but Tech 36 once again might have another EMP. Krandov goes down.
Tech 36 going to get that online. Asking to already move over to the Doomfist. Already finds Brusen with the Rocket Punch. As they're coming back in, both teams go for the stagger. The EMP shuts down everyone. They force them back off the point, but bodies are still there to contest it. They step off. Overtime will tickle down just on the nip of life as Chubbs finds 2. Going for one more. He's grabbed off the point, but they can't find the kills. Morning Stars clutch it out in the end. They go the distance, the 99% to 99% overtime on our 5th and final map. Chubbs came into the roster, they revitalized the team, and Young and Beautiful take their first loss of the season.
It was within reach, but they got too aggressive. But we asked that question at the beginning. Is this the best iteration of Morning Stars? And we can safely say it bloody hell is.
It's the better one now for the season. What we saw last time, can't compare to them so far, but they still have that legacy to live up to of a team that was so dominant in previous seasons when it came to regular group stage performance. Still have a long season ahead of them, but the foundation they built on today is great for them to be able to expand their empire across the rest of the season.
It was those final moments where it just drifted away from Young and Beautiful. They potentially had it in the bag there. I think that we could have seen a very different story, a very different winner to this series, but I have to give props to the entirety of Morning Stars. During a lot of these moments, especially on King's Row, where they suffered a crushing defeat, they're able to stay calm and composed and come back into Map 4 and Map 5 with an absolute vengeance.
These moments on Dorado, it was that 3rd and 4th map, which was so dominant, it flicked around like a metronome, and then it came down and balanced perfectly in the middle for map number 5, and just a slight little turn of the dial was enough to come out with the victory there. We're looking for stellar performances here from Tech 36, who comes out on these flexible picks. Sombra did make the difference in the end. Brusen, probably one of the highlights as well from Young and Beautiful there, came in consistently when we had concerns about him in the beginning of the series, not paying Slow enough attention. Right?
Yeah.
He came in on the Diva, able to do that, but ultimately, if he's been EMP'd, like the rest of his team, how is he going to shut down those huge anti-nades that were so pivotal to getting those early picks in the fights?
It's just a very tough match. I think there are so many things that could have gone differently, but Morning Stars, I think they've made their own luck today, and it is their own lucky star that has pushed them through. They were given an extra chance here on Map 5, and